Hey everybody and welcome to Nick and Nate's Nerdy News. For nerds. News so nerdy it can recite 20 numbers of pi. In Klingon.
Damn, that's nerdy.
It's time for the review Roundup. So the only one we're going to be covering this week, because it's the only one that matters. I mean, let's face it.
Heyo.
Indies suck. I'm just kidding. Is Far Cry. Far Cry 6 on the PlayStation 5 has 43 critic reviews, sitting at a 75. Funnily enough, if you go to the Xbox Series X, it goes all the way up to an 80, but it only has 29 reviews. So it almost has half the reviews, and so then it has more. So yeah, have you had a chance to play it yet?
So I have not. I have not had hands on with it yet.
Okay, I have, and unfortunately, I haven't gotten past the tutorial island, so I don't have too much to say. But so far, I can definitely agree with 7.5 because while it's pretty, it has some nice features to it. It's just kind of more Far Cry, which isn't a bad thing. But yeah, so Games Radar gives it an 80. Sorry, that's Game Radar Plus. The plus is that little bit extra on OnlyFans. It marks a new era for the Far Cry series and delivers more explosive action and adventure than ever before, even as the story fumbles some of its more upsetting plot points. Okay.
So, yeah, and kind of the same with Twinfinite. They gave it an 80 as well, with their review showing about 40 hours in. Reviewer saying he's still eager to hop back in and venture back on the beaten path, which right off the bat I feel like is what I want out of a Far Cry game.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Give me that. Give me more Far Cry. Yeah. That's not bad.
As far as the story goes, so far, what I do like is that your character actually talks. Like, I'm not going to lie, it's nice that your character actually has a personality rather than it just being... Like, Far Cry 5 is the perfect example. You have all these eccentric... Each one of the, disciples and then, the main guy himself, Jeffrey? Or... Joseph. Jeffrey! I was close. But no, all the disciples plus Joseph himself were very eccentric, very, out there. And then you have your character that's just like...
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't get it. So Dextro, this one's a little bit more middle of the road. 70, Far Cry 6 feels like the franchise is begging for its Assassin's Creed Origins moment. Where its underlying core systems are tweaked and overhauled. It still offers plenty of fun and carnage, but... the formula has begun to wear thin. So definitely I feel like that's even the positive reviews, that's what seems to be getting said a lot, is that it's more, and you're either going to love that or you're going to hate it. What's funny though is that he brings up the whole point about the Assassin's Creed Origins moment, and I do believe that it's trying to emulate Assassin's Creed in the sense of there are certain enemies that have armor on, so you have to have armor-piercing bullets. There are going to be, I haven't got, once again, I'm not off the tutorial, but I do know that there are going to be certain areas that are level-gated, so you have to grind and grind and grind, right? So it's it kind of already does have an Assassin's Creed in the sense that it's... But I do also see what he means as far as, a complete overhaul. Let's go to, the worst of the worst. Give us a bad review, Nate.
Well, so right now on Metacritic, there's only one, and that's from VGC, who gave it a 40.
Which is Video Games Conglomerate.
Yes, we're going to go with that. And really, that is the basis of their review. It straight up says, if you're interested in another Far Cry game that does the same Far Cry stuff that it's been doing for the past 10 years, you'll probably have a good time. But if you've already hit your limit with this kind of game, Far Cry 6 is the new Game Plus Ultra of why open world game design is so badly in need of a revolution.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, that kind of goes along with what I was saying before. Just like a lot of you're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. I'm definitely in the middle of the road, but once again, haven't gotten that far in it. And I think when I do get to like the open world, so to speak, I mean, like it's fun. You know, it's not groundbreaking. It's not going to break any barriers, and I don't know if that's something that if you want that, then that's great. Like so, yeah.
I'm personally excited for it, and
Right.
I came off of New Dawn, really enjoying my playthrough of that, and really enjoying my time with that specific game. So I'm excited to see. Now I'll be interested to see what the difference is going to be, if any, between me playing on my Pro and you playing on your PS5.
True. True.
So that'll be interesting.
Definitely.
So for our next headline, GTA the definitive version leaks.
Again.
Moving on. So there's what more can be said.
Right. Yeah. I mean, at this point, I really don't understand why Rockstar just doesn't announce it. Like, it is so obvious. There was like the reveal on like a Korean website or something like that, and then there's been so many rumors. Like, there's a difference between a leak and then somebody taking a C4 and breaking open the Hoover frickin' Dam. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah. No. It's like, why are you being so secretive about it? Like,
yeah,
why are we giving much more attention to GTA 5, a game that's been out since 2013, than a brand new property, is beyond me.
definitely, definitely. Other than that, so Twitch did a thing.
Yeah.
It did a tiny, itty bitty. I mean, honestly, probably nobody's even gonna notice, right? Remember that analogy that I had about the C4 and exploding? Well, that might have been pretty much what happened to Twitch, because a huge document went out on 4chan, the nicest of all chans. I mean, it's half as bad as 8chan, so I think we should count ourselves lucky. But pretty much everybody's info on Twitch, or at least like the top like 500 streamers or something, got leaked onto 4chan, and it was ridiculous. It was to the point where everybody was like sending out messages. Okay, you might want to change your password, guys.
Yeah. When I saw that everything basically leaked on that, I was like, we're going to go through a bad PR nightmare here. Like, this is about to be real bad. Especially when you have a lot of people who are looking at jumping ship to different platforms.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely. I don't know how you F it up that bad. I mean, there's certainly other companies, like even just PlayStation. Me being a Sony pony, I can admit it. That even like PlayStation had a really bad hack, and it was down for like a month or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. This seems different. I don't know if it's just because people are more aware nowadays. I don't know if that's the difference, or if it's just because. No, it's like people's information. It's like people's personal information, stuff that while publicly there's public knowledge about a lot of this, at the same time there's a lot of private stuff going on. So it's like, yeah. And then there's a interesting point that we'll bring up later during the talking points. So
speaking of private information, we have what is seemingly good news. California seems to be stepping in to prevent the Activision Blizzard whole situation from destroying more sexual harassment evidence. And I say more. That was on me.
Right. More evidence. I mean, I read this and I was like, really? Like, there's EA evil because they like making money. And then there's Activision evil because they're trying to hide sexual harassment.
Epstein's Island, basically.
Right?
Like, it's seemingly like everyone, which we know Bobby Kotick was.
Right.
But like the amount of, it's like they've completely went hush hush now.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely a lot about like the Ubisoft situation that also, all these situations just sound way too similar. The fact that like he's got them all, might have known and or might have just looked past a couple of situations, and then you have Activision and Bobby Kotick like trying to literally get rid of evidence. Like it just sounds too damn similar. It's like it, and it's like it might be a stupid question. Okay, I realize that, but like, is this just how business is done? Like, how is it that so many, and it's not just video games, companies, all over, there's just tons of companies getting in trouble for this type of stuff. And it's just like, this is just how the world is run. Like, you grow up, your parents tell you, your teachers tell you, every society itself tells you, treat people with respect. When a woman says no, it means no, don't rape them. And then you get into business, and apparently to be a business, you have to do nothing but sexual harassment. You have to do nothing but sexual assault. That's the way to get ahead. And it really, I think that the other thing that's so surprising is like, how is this coming out now? Like, we had the whole Epstein and
Me Too movement.
Weinstein. Weinstein, thank you. We had that whole movement, the Me Too movement, like 2018, correct?
Correct.
2018, really 2019, and on. And it's like, how is this just coming out now? Which also kind of shines a light on how the entertainment industry works, because, movies and video games. So it's just like... And next up, Destiny 2 will be deleting its best expansion. This one's definitely really weird, because on the one hand, I totally see where people are coming from. On the other hand, they've already done this, so why is everybody so surprised? On the other hand, because we're looking at octopuses,
Octopi.
I don't get why this is necessary. Okay, what's a good example? Warframe. Warframe's a good example of, you have tons of missions. Warframe's been around for 7 or 8 years now, and you can still play the first missions and the second wave of missions. You can play the whole history. And here is Destiny, and Bungie's trying to make an excuse of, oh yeah, we need to make space so that it's optimized and stuff like that. So it's like, okay, so you just basically need to delete what people paid for. I paid for, presumably, I paid for Destiny. And already with Forsaken, or maybe it was after Forsaken, I can't remember what expansion it was, but already me paying for Destiny because I didn't buy expansions, I can't play the game that much.
Yeah.
I am, like, I can do stuff, but I can't do a lot of missions. So I'm pretty much stuck doing, bullshit free-to-play type stuff.
Yeah.
Instead of being able to actually play a game that I purchased.
Yeah.
So it's like, already it's pretty effed up. And so now you're having the same situation that with the launch of the Witch Queen, which is going to be the next big expansion, they're getting rid of a lot of stuff. And like I said, they're Warframe's a good example, and I'm sure, because the PC exists, I'm sure there's tons of other examples of games that you can play through the whole beginning of the game till the end without even touching expansions.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure, like, Final Fantasy 14 is probably a really good example. And Final Fantasy 14 has already had 4 or 5 expansions. So this excuse, and I believe that's what it is, let me know what you think, this excuse that, we need to make space so that we can continue to optimize, I'm not buying it. And I think it's BS. And as big of a company as Bungie is, as much money as they've made off of Destiny and Destiny 2, I don't see any excuses. So, your turn.
I am not as much into the current up-to-date Bungie situation as far in regards to Destiny 2 with the vault. I know what it is. I remember them making the initial announcement, but like the article talking about the deletion makes up, good points as far as, pretty much how Forsaken was the start of the renaissance of Destiny 2's like story.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is weird for that to be the one. Of course, it is the oldest, so it does make sense. But at the same time, it's like it see something that's seemingly so pinnacle to the Destiny 2 experience being removed just feels odd.
Yeah, plain and simple. You're taking away stuff that people have paid for.
Mm.
You could, by Bungie's logic, make an excuse that, well, people aren't playing those quests anymore because we've had 3 more expansions since then. And it's like, yeah, I guess. But it's like, do you genuinely not care about new players? You are completely okay with just having the amount of players that you have now and only ever that.
Yeah.
Because the longer a game goes on, you either make moves to attract new players to make your numbers go up, or you just milk what you have. And like, are you basically saying that you're completely okay milking the ones you have? And I feel like that's kind of the message that they're sending, is that it's like, well, we know that you'll buy whatever we put out, so we're just going to keep doing that. And
I have a feeling they're also going to re-release it too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It really is just a matter of like, well, why can't you? Like, how hard is it? I don't know, because I'm not a game maker rather. But like, how hard is it to put quests off to the side, and you can make those quests downloadable? So because like, I think one thing they were bringing up is like, we want to keep the file size manageable. And it's like, I get that, so make it optional.
Yeah, like Call of Duty.
Call of Duty, I can decide to download single player, multiplayer, or zombies, and I can decide to just download zombies, which is all I play, right? So I can make the file size like almost half as big by only downloading zombies, which is what I did. So instead of being 200 and blah, blah, it's only like 150 gigs, which is still, what the hell, right?
Yeah.
But it would have been like 236, I think. So it's like, it gave me that option. So you should make all these quests optional. And I really think the fact that they're literally taking it away from paying customers, regardless of if those paying customers have been there and they've already played all the blah, 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 you're still taking things away from paying customers. Make it optional. If you're really worried about the file size, make it something that they can buy on the side. Not buy, but download on the side. Like, there's even, for the PlayStation 5, there's a texture pack that I can download for Call of Duty. It's not required. It's just textures. So it makes it look even better, right? So I can decide to download that texture pack, or I can decide not to not make my... And the fact that a company as big as, Activision and Bungie's very similar, at least in prestige, maybe not in literal numbers, right? But the fact that they just can't figure out something so freaking basic is just, to me, it just shows where their priorities are. So
yeah, we'll see what happens, because the Destiny fan base is side of many coins.
Yeah. All right. So let's get into the major talking point of today. Now, we brought up the Twitch story, and there is one weird thing that came out of this whole Twitch situation, and that was people freaking out about how much people were getting paid or how little they were getting paid. Either way, you had people kind of scrutinizing how people on the internet were getting paid. But there is sometimes this like sense of entitlement that comes from certain viewers, and I feel like that entitlement is on full display when people are complaining about a giant team like Critical Role making a shit ton of money. Like, yeah, they put a lot of effort into what they're doing and they have a lot of pride in it. Are you saying that's not worth money?
Yeah.
You know? And it's that sense of entitlement, like, oh no, you should just do this because you love doing it. It's like, yeah, that's why I should keep doing it. But nobody goes on to Twitch like, sorry, this is a news flash for you, but nobody goes on Twitch to just have fun. You don't just
It's a job.
You don't just go on Twitch just to have fun. I'm sure there's tons of people who go on and maybe that's what they start out as. But then when they start raking in the numbers, yeah, they start taking it more serious and they start trying to treat it like a business or whatever. And if somebody's going to treat something like a business, do they not deserve to get paid? You know? Because all the people on Twitch and YouTube and any kind of platform where there's content being created, any person who isn't in it for recognition and maybe just a little bit of cheddar quit.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. They quit because it wasn't worth streaming 6 hours a day if it wasn't for something. Like, I don't know if that's just a super cynical way of looking at it, but yeah, anybody on Twitch is there for a reason. Now, there's plenty of people out there for a reason that might be charity. But even from a charity perspective, you want lots of people watching you so that they can then give money to your charity. So recognition is still part of that equation, you know, and you click on their video, you click on their Twitch stream, it plays an ad. That ad is there because it was paid to be there. Then, because they're on your video, Twitch decides, you know what, you should get this much because this person watched this ad and that ad agency paid us to put it there. That's how the world works. So to think that they have 20,000 subscribers and that means that they get $20,000 or something like that, you know what I mean? Which obviously that's not a one-to-one, but you know what I'm trying to say. The fact that people would be surprised by that, it's like, get the fuck over it. Like, now I'm being super harsh and I understand that, but seriously, if you're a person that will look at a Twitch person who's very successful in sub accounts and you will judge them for making money, fuck off. Like, so
I mean, you're not wrong. People who and there is this sort of like blind viewership that comes from like Twitch, and I'm guilty of it too. Like, there are certain streamers that I'll see, you know, when they start out and they're like this small, but like they start to grow and they just become too big for me. And like, I'm not, I'm some streamers like that I've watched before. Like, I enjoyed the intimacy of it just being like a small group of people.
Yeah.
You know, until they grew. So that I can understand, but people, who are basically being the vocal complainers in this case is like, get out of your mom's basement, bud. Like, that's the way the world works. Like, literally anyone who's streaming will tell you.
That is how the world works. That is how the world works. I like to tweak my nipples and it hurts.
So it's like, for anyone who streams will tell you they're doing this for a job.
Yeah.
And they're privileged to be able to play games for their job, but at the end of the day, it's still their job.
Yeah. It's like a weird comparison, but it's like the porn industry or the adult industry. Like, even if all they do is have pictures of their boobies, you know, sure, I'm sure there's a minority of women on the internet who just take pictures of the boobies and get paid for it. But then there's a lot of them that put a lot of work into it.
Yeah.
You know, whether it be they have to hire somebody to do their hair, they have to hire somebody to do their makeup, they have to hire a, high quality photographer, things like that. That doesn't come free, you know? And to say that, oh, well, all you do is take pictures of your boobs, and it's like, well, yeah, and all you do is play video games, but it's like, it's still a job. You know? A hand job is still a job if you're getting paid for it. Like, that's a weird way of putting it, but no, like, porn is still an industry. There's still a demand for it, and so, like, It'd be just like being surprised, like, oh, the person who does hand jobs on the internet is getting paid for it? What the hell?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, guys, get over yourself.
I hope my kids didn't hear that.
Let's hope they don't remember it or pick it up.
Pick what up?
What you said.
What are you doing, stepdad?
God.
Anyways, and with that note, I think
On that note,
I think it's time to stop. So yeah, thank you guys so much for joining us on the inaugural Nick and Nate Nerd News for Nerds. You might have take two. You might have noticed we've been gone for a little while, and that's because, well, we tried kind of this thing, but with other people. Things didn't go so well, and feelings were hurt. But we're back. Not going to say I'm not bitter, being honest. Not going to say I'm not bitter. I won't say their names, but you can probably go back. I mean, if you want to be detectives, you could probably figure it out. But, yeah, we're back now. We hope to keep doing this stuff with you guys and hopefully focus on us rather than doing something for somebody else. And that's all I'll say.
I'm just excited to touch you guys again.
Yeah. All right. So thank you so much for joining us. I was Nick.
And I was Nate. Talk nerdy to me.
Talk nerdy to me.
Wait, hold on, pause, because I lost my train of thought and I'm going to sound stupid.
What the fuck? Look at my bed.
Yeah, I just saw that. I just realized that.
Why? Oh my god, did I push... I think I pushed the button. I'm gonna have to go back to the... The remote's right here next to my feet. I think I pushed it while I was talking or something. Funnily enough, there is not... Let me see. Is there like an IGN or a GameSpot? Because it's like I don't know any of these fuckers. IGN Italia.
PlayStation Lifestyle.
Right. PlayStation Universe. Here we go.
Games
Games
Radar.
Radar. That one's
Yeah.
at least. So you do the next one. Let me drink first.